Hi, hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, All Nursing MCQs. In this rapid review section, we will cover the nerve system. This will be helpful for those preparing for nursing competitive exams like AIMS NORCET, JICMER, RRB, and ESICs. Welcome to the video. Nerve system. It is one of the regulatory system of the body. It controls all the activities of the body quicker than the other control system in the body. It coordinates the actions and sensory information by transmitting signals to and from different parts of its body. The nerve system is a complex network of nerve cells that coordinate the action and sensory information in the body by transmitting signals. The nerve cells is classified into two types, excitable cells and non-excitable cells. The excitable cells is known as neuron. Neuron is the basic structural and functional unit of the nerve system. They can produce the action potential so that they can transmitting the signals from one part to other part of the body. Then next type is known as non-excitable cells. It is known as neuroglia or glial cells. They cannot produce the action potential. The main function of the neuroglia is protection and support to the neuron. The other functions such as myelin formation, water removal, and immune defense. Neuron. Basic structural and functional unit of the nerve system. It's responsible for transmitting electrical and chemical signals throughout the body. Neurons have three main parts: nerve cell body or soma, dendrites, and axon. Next, moving to the structure of the neuron. This is a generic image of a neuron. The neuron is having three main parts: dendrites, cell body or soma. Then this long projection is known as axon. Dendrites. A branch-like structure for receiving electrochemical message. There are receptors on dendrites that are designed to pick up signals from other neurons that come in the form of chemicals called neurotransmitters. Those signals picked up by dendrites cause electrical changes in a neuron that are interpreted in an area called the soma or the cell body. This area is known as the soma or the cell body. Inside the cell body or soma, there is a nucleus. This portion is known as nucleus, which contains the DNA or the genetic material of the cell. The soma takes all the information from the dendrites and put it together in an area called the axon hillock. If the signals coming from the dendrites is strong enough, then the signals sent to the next part of the neuron, which is called as axon. This long projection is known as axon, which carry the impulse away from the cell body or the soma. The axon is covered with the myelin sheath. It's a fatty insulating layer. It helps to speed up the process of transmission. Then in PNS, the myelin sheath is made up of Schwann cells, and in central nervous system, the myelin sheath is made up of oligodendrites. This portion is known as axon terminus. The end portion of the axon where the signals, that means the neurotransmitters, are released. Then there is a gap between two myelin sheaths. This area, this portion is known as nodes of Renvier. The gap between two myelin sheaths is known as nodes of Renvier. Dendrites. A branch-like structure for receiving electrochemical message. It transmits information towards the nerve cell body. Nerve cell body or soma. Signals picked up by dendrites cause electrical changes in a neuron that are interpreted in an area called the soma or the cell body. Soma contain the nucleus, which contain the DNA or genetic material of the cell. Next part is known as axon. It is a larger process of the nerve cell. The length of the longest axon is about 1 meter. Axon is the output region which convey impulses from soma to another neuron. The input region is known as dendrite and the output region is known as axon. Try to answer the question and write your score in comment section. First question, structural and functional unit of the nerve system. The answer is neuron. Part of nerve which receive information. Input region of neuron, which is known as dendrites. Next question. Part of nerve which send or transfer information. The answer is axon. Part of nerve which speed up or conduct information. The answer is myelin sheath. Gap between two myelin sheath is known as nodes of Renville. Myelin sheath in central nervous system is made up of oligodendrites. Myelin sheath in peripheral nervous system is made up of, the answer is Schwann cell. A type of nerve cells which support, protect and nourish neuron are called, the answer is neuroglial cell. Next, moving to synapse and synaptic cleft. Synapse. Junction between two neurons is known as synapse. And the synaptic cleft means gap between two nerve junctions. Synapse means the junction where a neuron transmits a signal to another cell is known as synapse. This junction is known as synapse. Then there is a narrow gap between presynaptic and postsynaptic neuron is known as synaptic cleft. This gap, this narrow distance is known as synaptic cleft. The junction is known as synapse. Let's move into the classification of neuron. Depending upon the structure, the neuron is classified into myelinated neuron and non-myelinated neuron. Myelinated neuron, the conduction become more fast. Next classification, depending upon the origin. It's include cranial nerve and the spinal nerve. 12 pair of cranial nerve and 31 pair of spinal nerve. Depending upon the distribution, it's classified into somatic neuron and the visceral neuron or the autonomic nerve fiber. The autonomic nerve fiber, it will supply to the internal organ of the body, and the somatic neuron, it's supplied to the skeletal muscles. Depending upon the function, it is classified into two, motor neuron or the efferent, sensory neuron or the afferent. Motor neuron that carry the impulse from the central nervous system to the muscle tissue. Sensory or afferent neuron that carry the signals from the body to the central nervous system. In this diagram, from the skin or the body, the message sent to the central nervous system. That pathway is known as afferent pathway, and the impulses is carried by the sensory or the afferent neuron. And the response, the motor response sent from the central nerve system to the body through the efferent pathway by motor neurons or the efferent neurons that are carry the signals from the central nerve system to the body. The sensory neuron that carry the impulses from the body to the central nerve system, and the motor neurons that carry the information from the central nerve system to the muscle tissue. With using these mnemonics, you can easily memorize this one. That one is same. S-A-M-E, same. Is sensory means afferent, motor means efferent. Let's move into the classification of nerve system. It's classified into central nerve system and the peripheral nerve system. The central nerve system including brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nerve system, it includes 12 pairs of cranial nerve and 31 pairs of spinal nerve. This is a picture of the central nerve system classification. The central nerve system, brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nerve system, it's including the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. Nerve system is classified into central nerve system and the peripheral nerve system. Central nerve system including brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nerve system including somatic nerve system and the autonomic nerve system. Somatic nerve system, it is further classified into sensory and motor, and the autonomic nerve system, it is classified into sympathetic nerve system and the parasympathetic nerve system. Central nerve system, CNS. Central nerve system consists of brain and the spinal cord. Brain, the control center for thought, emotion and voluntary movements. Spinal cord, a pathway for signals between the brain and the rest of the body, also responsible for some reflexes. Next is the peripheral nerve system, PNS. It includes somatic nerve system and the autonomic nerve system. Somatic nerve system control the voluntary movements and the autonomic nerve system control the involuntary movements. Somatic nerve system control voluntary movements and sensation in the skin, muscles and joints, responsible for relaying information from the brain to the skeletal muscles. Next is the autonomic nerve system. Autonomic nerve system control the involuntary movements, control automatic functions such as breathing, heart rate and digestion, responsible for relaying information from the brain to the internal organs, allowing our body to function without conscious control. The autonomic nerve system is further divided into two types, sympathetic division and the parasympathetic division. The sympathetic and parasympathetic division is works in opposition to each other to regulate the bodily function. That means the sympathetic division increases the heart rate and blood pressure, and the parasympathetic division help to lower the blood pressure and the heart rate. The sympathetic division is known as flight or fight response, and the parasympathetic division is known as rest and digest response. Sympathetic division utilize the energy and the parasympathetic division conserve the energy. Then the sympathetic division is activated during stressful situation and during exercise, and the parasympathetic division is activated during sleeping, after eating. In the next part of our series, we will explore the remaining topics. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe our channel.